Instructors today are so busy. Nanette and I understand this. We've had to train ourselves not to say yes to every request to serve on a text selection committee, to present, to develop a pedagogy workshop, to helm a new initiative. We get it. The tasks may vary, but the time commitment does not. Whether it be the adjunct instructor that makes their way to multiple campuses, which I personally did for multiple years, to the tenured professor who sits on multiple committees, to the chair who tries to corral everyone in the department, the time commitment is real. So curriculum and new platforms should not be part of the problem. They should be one of the solutions. So my co-author and I have been teaching for 20 or more years each. So we are first and foremost classroom teachers. We began writing and designing a reader's guide to writing back in 2006 as a set of notes and readings that would streamline our own instruction. Since then, it has developed into a really robust and flexible set of teaching resources that really save enormous amounts of time, allowing for far more concentration on the teaching itself. It has made our own teaching lives so much easier, and it can do the same for you. So here's how. So let's take a look at the TOC view of a particular chapter. So if we click on Reading Anthology, let's move down to Essay Resources for Chapter 7. So immediately what you see is that you have quizzes for each of the reading passages. This is a huge deal. It saves so much time to be able to deploy those. And I can just go and click on one, let's say, and go up to Assign and enter the dates, and it is assigned. It's as easy as that. You don't have to do anything else. Now this quiz is assigned for anybody enrolled in the course. Of course, there are some options that you can adjust point numbers and so forth, but it's as easy as that. The other main feature is that we have teaching resources, extensive ones, for every essay. So let's take this opportunity to drill down a little bit more to other teaching resources. If we click on Teaching Resources for BIOS 2.0 and go to full screen, what you see then in the margin is Essay Overview, ideas for how to teach this essay, class discussion or possible journal writing questions, and writing about the text. So let's focus on Essay Overview. So this has two parts, the executive summary and then the main points for the essay itself. We did this for two primary reasons. One, we wanted instructors to very quickly understand what the essay is all about. That way they wouldn't have to read it entirely before assigning it, and they would know which essays would pair pretty nicely with this. The second reason is that this can totally be used as part of instructional materials. If you have your students go through the essay, write up a summary, they could then compare that with some of the main points. It's a really great tool. Next, let's move down to ideas for how to teach this essay. So the first one pairs with other essays. I really like this section because it tells you specifically what we think would be a very nice pairing and how this ties into the particular theme or a set of themes. To make life easier for instructors then, this essay, let's say The Empty Orchestra, has a summary hover over. It tells you how difficult that essay is, whether it's beginner, intermediate, or a growth level essay. There's also a link to the essay itself for your convenience if you want to take a look at that. So these are pairs that we think would be very fruitful for possible discussions in classes and also assignments, but they're not the only pairs. There can be certainly other ones. The next part of these resources for ideas to teach this essay would be classroom teaching and extension exercises. These are really great. They provide you with some ideas of what you can do in the classroom or beyond the classroom. There are plenty of links for different presentations, TED Talks, short articles that are apropos to the topic, and there are plenty of these. Also, there may be some particular student activities that you could begin implementing. These are great resources that you can deploy just in a minute or less. Of course, you probably want to preview the videos, but in terms of actually using them in the classroom, they're very, very helpful. So no class is really complete without having some sort of classroom discussion or possibly a journal writing activity. So if you scroll down here, we have broken this up into two different sections. One would be questions related to reading comprehension for the text itself. Did your students understand what the main points were in that essay, the claims and possible implications? And then the other section here in student opinion and elaboration. So what did the essay mean? What are the implications for the particular subject? Are there implications for race, gender, identity, economy? There are a host of possible issues that are involved, and these questions deal with that sort of elaboration. These are so handy because you can basically just copy them into your activity and it's done. You're ready to go. Another section for the teaching resources is writing about the text. And as you can see, there are lots of different writing assignments for narrative, for description, event, profile, for various expository genre topics, the traditional concept paper, a process paper, explaining controversial issues, argumentative topics in terms of response papers, position, solution, proposal, or possible advertisement, and of course, the analytical genre topic with cultural analysis, general analysis. So these are some great ideas for you to start out with your students with a writing assignment. Of course, as with anything in these teaching resources, you can augment them, change them, and deploy them as you wish. These are just tools. All these teaching resources have been organized in the way that most teachers ultimately prepare their lessons, from the essay overview, to pairs with other essays, to classroom teaching and extension activities, to discussion or journal questions, to the various writing topics for narrative, expository, argumentative, and analytical genres. All of these combine to facilitate teaching and save a great deal of time.